Good afternoon. This is Paul Corder from Perfect Golf Event. And today we're going to talk about different ways to jumpstart your 2022 golf event, help you raise more money, have a more successful event. So stand by. Hope you enjoy it. A housekeeping note, if you want a copy of the presentation or any of the handouts, you can use my email address or you can send a note to support@Perfect Golf Event. So you can just sit back and listen and we'll cover the topics and I'll be glad to share the presentation with you. So today we're going to talk about why get started now, how to set your goals for success, locking in your prior players and sponsors, what I call the success modules for successful event, and how to market your event on a tight budget. Of course, we're going to leave then with the action steps that will get you going and moving forward towards a very more successful event in 2022. I'm asked a lot, why should we start now? Our event's not till May or June of next year. That's an important question, but let's talk about why. There's about 300,000 fundraising golf events. The sooner you launch your event, the sooner players and sponsors can reserve the date for your event. We saw about a 60% increase in the number of events we worked with this year because a lot of organizations can't have larger events like a gala or a trivia night. So they're having the outdoor events like a golf event. So there's more and more golf events. So people are going to be invited to those golf events, and you've got to make sure that you get on their calendar as soon as you can, especially sponsors, because they plan their budgets well in advance. Now let's talk about working with your golf course. Golf courses are adding more events. You want to confirm your available dates and book your date now. If you already have a location, we're going to talk about how to review your contract. So hopefully you've got a date reserved for next year. If not, you should get on it because, again, golf courses are getting pretty full based on the number of people trying to have golf events to raise money. You'll want to ask for our golf course checklist. We're glad to send this a copy of you. It includes what you should ask the golf course regarding your contract. Even if you've signed your contract already, it's important that you may go over it again to see what you've missed. We'll list the questions the golf course will ask you. You want to be prepared to answer the questions they're going to ask because they have a lot of choices for events they're going to book. The more prepared you are, the more professional you are, the more likely you are to get the best dates and the best rates. It also includes key questions you should ask the golf course. You want to avoid any surprises the day of your event. So we have a complete list of you to ask the things you should ask your golf course again. Even if you already signed your contract, you want to look at this and go back and say, hey, we may have missed some things we need to clarify to make sure there's no issues with our event. If you want a copy, just email support@Perfect Golf Event. We're glad to send you the golf course checklist. Once your date's confirmed, you want to get your website up right away. This is really important. So you can see for all of my events, and I manage a number of events myself, all my 2022 websites are already up and up for a couple of months because, again, I want to get people on calendars. So set up your website now. You want to launch your site and get it out to previous players and sponsors. We're going to go through some tips on that in just a minute. And, of course, if you have a Perfect Golf Event site, which I hope you do, you can copy your event over for 2022, and it saves you a lot of setup time. It'll move all your players and sponsors automatically into email lists so you can communicate the new date with them. So make sure you've got your website up and running. Even if you're going to change some of your details and your sponsorship packages, you can update those in real time. You just want to get out there and make sure everybody knows when your event's going to be held. Now, this is an important part for anybody planning a golf event. You want to make sure you've got your goals set. And so what you're going to want to do is review your 2021 results and then enter all your goals for 2022. So you're going to put in past results. You're going to put in your new revenue projections. You're going to enter in all your past expenses and your 2022 expenses. And then you're going to get a net total. And then again, if it doesn't reach your goal, if you're not, for example, reaching the bottom line you want, you're going to have to go up and you're going to have to increase your revenue or reduce your expenses. You want to review that line by line. If you want to copy this template, it's easy to use. Again, just send a note to support@Perfect Golf Event. And any of our team will be glad to talk to you about ideas that we have to help you increase your revenue. If that's a situation where you're not hitting enough revenue, we have lots of ideas that we can help you with, so feel free to contact us regarding those as well. Now let's talk about locking in prior players. Some of you I know are having new events. Let's talk about ones that have had prior players. You want to make sure, as I said before, communicate your 2022 date. I send out to a lot of my players, I'll send out a personal letter, kind of recapping what we did in 2021, where the funds were used. I'll send a note about save the date. I'll give them the option, and this is a good one to use. I give them the option to sign up to reserve a spot in their event before I open it up to everybody. Say, hey, we were sold out last year. We're going to open this up in 2 weeks. If you want to reserve your spot, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come back for this year. I'll save a spot for you. That really works effectively to get people to commit. Make sure you've got a link to your 2022 website. And I'll talk about these in a bit, but you want to consider an early bird offer to encourage registration. So for a number of my events, I might say, hey, register by January 31st, and we'll give you extra raffle tickets. We'll get you entry in the putting contest. I try and avoid discounts. I'd rather do add-on things, but that way you get them off the market, get them in, then you know where to focus your marketing efforts going forward. Here's an example of save the date campaigns that we're working on already for other events. Here you can see an event, the Greek Open. Their event is June of 2022. They've already put out their save the date flyer to everybody. They've opened up their registration for registration. So people can now register for the 2022 event. They've set up their Perfect Golf website. They've got out to all their players that played before and try and get people to commit now so that they can fill up their event, at least know, again, where they have to direct their efforts if they need more sponsorships or more players. Talked about the early bird special. The goal is to get commitments early. You want to capture these sponsors and players before they can sign up for another event. This helps with your financial projections and marketing efforts. Again, you know where to focus your energy. You might want to do set incentives, save dollars if you register. Again, I don't like discounts that much, but sometimes you can give a small discount. But instead of that, offer them extra raffle tickets or entry into the putting contest. I have a couple of my events where we offer a free golf shirt with early registration. That's been really popular. We say, hey, we're going to give you a free shirt. We'll have it for you at the event. Register now. And again, if you're using Perfect Golf Event, you can create promo codes so you can send it out to some people and say, hey, put this promo code in, and then you're going to get the offer that we have for early bird registration. So don't ignore early bird registration. It can be very effective getting people off the market. Referral programs are popular as well. Sometimes when someone registers right now, I make sure that either myself or someone on my committees calls and thanks them for registering, especially sponsors, but they're surprised to get a phone call. And I also at the same time ask them, do they know anybody else that they might be who might be interested in playing in the event? So I ask for the referral. And sometimes that's all you have to do is ask. You don't have to give them anything. Just say, hey, do you have some friends you think or other businesses that might want to participate? Encourage them to share their participation on their social media site. This is really good, especially if they're in LinkedIn, because that's a business-to-business site. And saying, hey, would you mind posting something saying, hey, I'm going to be playing in the Greek Open in June 22nd, 2022. Why don't you join me? It's a great business networking experience. And again, if you want to, you can offer rewards like raffle tickets or a shirt or golf balls for giving you referrals that turn into someone who actually signs up. So these are lots of different steps, but it's important that you kind of touch all the bases to have a really successful event. It's not just one thing that turns it into magic. It's a number of things that you do properly. If you did a 2021 event, you want to use our photo gallery option, which is really great. It gives you the ability to quickly upload all the events, all the photos from your 2021 event. So you can upload them instantly, and then it creates a gallery, and people can go to the gallery. They can see all the photos that are there, and you can say, hey, all the photos from the event are there. You can go to the gallery and you can download any of your photos, your team photos, whatever. What's wonderful about the photo gallery is that it allows you, first of all, you can sell it as a sponsorship, but you upload your event photos, the golfers and sponsors can visit the site, download the photos. But when they do that, you have the ability, if you want to charge them a fee, I don't, but if you want to charge $1 a photo to download, I wouldn't encourage it, but you can. But it can be sold as a sponsorship to raise more money. And what sponsor wouldn't want to be on every photo page for people to see it? So it's a great sponsorship. And Perfect Photo Gallery is free if you're using Perfect Golf Events website with a birdie or eagle or ace package. So just contact support if you want to get all your photos up in the photo gallery so you can send it out. What's also nice about it is that as the people pick their photos and they download them, you're capturing the information about who they are. And maybe you don't have that information. Maybe it was a guest in the tournament. Now you've got their information so you can market your 2022 event. But they also have the option to give a donation when they're downloading the photos. So they download them for free, but they say, hey, that was really a great event. It's a great cause. Here's 20 bucks. Here's $100. I've had one event raise about $6,000 because they had so many photos, so many participants, and people actually donated money saying that was really a great event, and they raised some additional funds. So this is a great feature. Just contact support at Perfect Golf Event to get started on your photo gallery if you have photos from 2021. To launch it, just again, you can do all this, just contact support. Now let's talk about again, remember I talked about, I've touched all the bases for your golf event. So some of the success modules for a golf event, just make sure when you're meeting with your committee and you're talking about it, you're saying, are we covering all the things we need to do? Do you have a good committee? Is your website up? Are you offering online registration and payment processing like we do with Perfect Golf Event? Do you have the budget set up? Have you clarified your message, marketing tools, location, sponsorship sales, contests and activities format? So there's a lot of work that goes into a golf event, and you can't skip a step. You've got to kind of get all this done. So this is just kind of a guide and sort of a checklist of things to think about. Speaking of committees, having a very good committee is important. This is a time to energize and expand your committee. So you want to take the opportunity to add new members to your committee. Event participants are good people who played in your event before, are really good candidates to add to your committee. They may say, hey, that was a great event. How do I get involved? Why don't you be on my committee? So this is a time to look at your committee and say, you know what? I think we could do better. We could get some more energy into the committee. So add some new people. And remember to ask your existing committee to update all their new teams and sponsors for 2022. Say, hey, there may be people who didn't commit last year. Who's on the list? Who do we want to go after for 2022? I have another document you might find useful called Committee Tips and Techniques. This will give you an idea of how to maximize your committee. Again, email support for your copy of it. Let's go back. So again, this gives you all the different tips on how to run a committee successfully. People miss some of the energy and the benefits of having a great committee. So this gives you the tips that you'll need to maximize your committee getting ready for 2022. Now, let's talk about formats and contests. This is a very important part because you have an opportunity in 2022 to maybe mix up your format a little bit to make it more attractive. So deciding on your event format. Remember that there are 90% of the events, 99.5% of the events out there are all playing a 4-person scramble. So maybe you want to think about changing it up a little bit, do something different. Here you'll see the brochure for an event that we do down in Florida, where we take a really beautiful golf course, but we make it all par 3 holes. They have 18 hole-in-one contests for $10,000, and then we give a grand prize. So you want to do something different. I'll give you some format ideas in a minute. But another really important part is make sure you have separate team prizes for men and women. I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but a lot of events miss the opportunity to grow their event by having a division for women. Women want to play golf. They'll support organizations. You don't always make them feel comfortable coming to the event. They pull up. There's a bunch of guys smoking cigars, drinking beer, hee-hawing around. And you want to make sure women feel comfortable because they'll support your organization. They'll bring their friends to play golf. Just set up a different division for women. Remember, there's 300,000 charity golf events. There's many, many more in 2021. So what makes your event attractive? What makes your event different from every event out there? Here is, for example, an event that I just did in September. This has been sold out for 6 years. And this is our event day highlight. So you can see here that we've got what we're doing before the event, what's happening on the course, and what's happening after golf. And if you see, it's just loaded. We're having a ball drop. We got great hole-in-one contests. We have liquor stations. We have beer stations. We have cigars. We have a shootout at the end. So what you want to do is look at this and take your committee and say, wait a minute, what do we have? What are we doing pre-event on the course? Is our event just a box lunch and some golf? You're competing with other events. Imagine I'm in St. Louis and I do this event every year. Imagine if there's another event on the same day and somebody has a choice of where they're going to play, well, they might say, you know what, I'm going to put my money somewhere. This looks like this event's going to be a lot of fun. And it actually has been sold out ever since. You can't get into the event at this point, it's just full. But you want to look at your event and say, what are our event day highlights? What are we doing to attract people? Here's an event. This was the Folds of Honor. They switched to a 18 par 3 holes. This was a new event that they did. This is the second year they've had it, but it started as a new event in 2020. Then in 2021, they had their second one. But they did this great new format, 18 par 3 holes, different hole-in-one contests on every hole. They were done in 3.5 hours. We played 6-person teams because we could, and it meant better networking. They had a shootout at the end, and it's been sold out every year. But imagine this kind of format in your marketplace that makes your event stand out from everybody else. And there's lots of different ways you could do it. You could do 18 par 3 holes. You could do 9 par 3 holes and 9 regulation holes. So there's lots of creativity. We've got a webinar out on Perfect Golf webinars on different format options. You might want to take a look at that when you have time. And again, here's some of the options. You might do an 18-hole all par 3s or 18 hole plus a shootout. You might add a shootout to your regular event. You might do 9 holes and 9 regulation holes. You might do 18 par 3 holes. And this event organizer, she came up with this idea, and I'm stealing it because I thought it was a great idea. She's playing 18 holes in the morning, regulation, and then in the afternoon, they're having a 9-hole par 3 event. So you can play the regular golf course in the morning if you want to play the full golf course, or if you're a casual golfer, you want to support the organization, you can come in the afternoon and play 9 par 3 holes. And then everybody who's in the morning group or the afternoon group, they're all invited to come to a post-event shootout. She had a luau. She had everybody for the reception. What a great idea. Really interesting format. So consider things you can do to make your event more attractive than just saying, well, will you come out? We have a 4-person scramble, and we're going to have a box lunch. And I think you're going to have some fun. Let's add some more enthusiasm to our event, some more creativity. As I said, you can listen to it on Perfect Golf webinars, a full session on formats that might be attractive to you. Add some exciting contests. You want to have some neat contests to your event. Here's an event that we just did at Balderstrahl in New Jersey, where the putting contest winner gets to go to the TPC Sawgrass for the Players' Championship. You could have hole-in-one contests. You could have shootout, $1 million shots and shootouts. They're not expensive, but imagine advertising. Come on out to my event. Somebody's going to have a chance to shoot for $1 million. You want putting contests, close to the pin, long drive. You want to give potential players a reason to take time away from their business, away from their family, spend money, and say, wow, it looks like there's going to be a lot of fun stuff happening there. And 20, here's a list of some of the, sometimes people do cards for hole-in-one. They're okay, but they're usually a 2-year lease, which is a pain. Here's a list of some of the hole-in-one contests we did in 2021. And you can see it went from everything from a bourbon tour to a Disney World experience, a Las Vegas, a Napa wine tour, ski vacation. We can insure anything that we can put a value on. Here's a gentleman in 2020, won an $85,000 boat. And what's important is the sponsors will pay for the contest. So you sell it as a sponsorship, and yet you can advertise, come out to my event. You can have a chance to win, a chance to go to St. Andrews, or a trip to go to the Ryder Cup, or go to Pebble Beach, or go to British Columbia for fly fishing. Use your imagination. Golfers have a lot of options for selecting a golf event. So add creative hole-in-one contests, so that you stand out from the competition. If you need ideas, let us know. If you go to Perfect Golf Event and click on the tournament shop, you'll see all the different contests we offer for you. Again, they're not expensive. You can do a $10,000 hole-in-one contest for about $275. You sell that as a sponsorship for $500 to $1,000, so you make some money and the players have a fun experience. And you can customize your contest to your local market. Here's a very creative organizer, and they were doing an event in Philadelphia, and they wanted the hole-in-one contest to be something to do with the Philadelphia market. So they had an Eagles-Packers away game hole-in-one, a trip to the Eagles and Dolphins, go to the Sixers Heat. So we can create it. I did, as a company, we did hole-in-one contests that were customized for San Francisco, Chicago, Los Angeles, Denver, Dallas. So we can put together anything you want to make your event stand out. This organizer actually got calls from other events saying, hey, wait a second, how can I get hole-in-one contest, for trip to the Eagles to play the Dolphins? And the organizer said, well, I'm sorry, it's exclusive to my event. Now it isn't, but at least they felt like they were having an edge up on the other events in their market. So you want to add a lot of contests. Again, there's hole-in-one contests, there's guaranteed winner contests. All of them are on the tournament shop. Just go to Perfect Golf Event and click on the tournament shop. So let's talk about marketing your event on a tight budget. So first of all, how are you marketing your event? Are you aggressively marketing it? Do you have a marketing calendar? And we'll be glad to send you our marketing calendar. We have another document here is how to put together your event marketing calendar. So request a copy and we'll send it to you. And it gives you the tips on how to fill out a marketing calendar that you and your committee can use to follow up with your event. Here's an example where you can place everything on the marketing calendar and you assign sections to different committee members. So you say, hey, John, you're in charge of our social media. Make sure we have something going out every month. Or Susan, you're in charge of our email campaign. So you use this marketing calendar to make sure you've got something going each month. You want to look for any gaps. So if you have a month where you're not doing something in a category, then you go, wait a second, we're missing an opportunity to promote our event. So that's what you want to do is make sure you've got your marketing calendar. For your immediately marketing step to do right now is send a creative email blast. Get out to things with focus on the event day activities you're adding, the contest you're going to have. Launch your social media campaign, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and ask everybody who's involved, your committee, your supporters, anybody who registers to use their social media to promote your event. That's what I do. I ask all the registrants, please share the event so other people know it's coming. And what you want to do to make it really effective is provide sample email and social media text for everyone to make it easy for them to promote. They may not know what to say. So I have a list of things I say to them. I said, okay, on Monday, send this one out announcing the event. And maybe 2 weeks from now, send out this one talking about the contest. And a month from now, send out this one that talks about the golf course. Give them things that they can do so they don't have to even think about it. They can just cut it, paste it, put it in there. And you might want to consider a flyer that's also promoting your event day highlights. Make sure as your event, this is really important, is your message clear? Does everybody know why you're having your event? Can you say in a few sentences, we're having this event to benefit, for example, the Backstoppers event. They support the survivors of men and women who are killed in the line of duty, police, fire, EMT, any first responders. What a powerful message. That's why we're raising money. Come to our event. We're going to help support the survivors of people who were killed in the line of duty. Well, I get it. I want to be in that event. So you want to make sure it's clear how the funds are used. They want people to trust what you're doing with the event, with your funds. So be clear how they're being used. This is important. It gives players and sponsors confidence in your event. Don't be loosey-goosey on it. We're raising money to do this. We need to raise this much money to be effective. Please come and support us. Make sure you're tracking and following up on all your potential players and sponsors. I'm going to cover this in the webinar on sponsorships, but do you have your list of potential sponsors by type of sponsorship? Do you have a list of prospective players? Do you update it on a regular basis? And are your committee members assigned to follow up on all of these prospects? Also, do your sponsorship packages have sizzle? You be sure you have real sponsor benefits. I see a lot of sponsorship packages out there where they say, hey, come out to my event and you're going to get a logo on the website and your name on the welcome banner. Wow, how can I give you money for that? You want to make sure you've got a bunch of sizzle. You have a lot of sponsorships and you've got things outlined. So you can see all the things on this sample sponsorships, all the things that are included in that sponsorship. That's what makes it attractive to the sponsor. And if you want a list again of our sponsor packages, to give you an idea, you can adjust them, to fit your, excuse me, you can adjust them to fit your market, but at least you'll know what to bundle in for these. So again, you want to make sure you add value to sponsorships, and you could do with little additional cost. So again, giving them the front cover of the program, giving them VIP parking, letting them tee off on hole number 1. These are all things that you could do that don't cost you anything, but make it attractive to the sponsor. So here's an example of an event. Just take a look at this. And you can see that this organizer, this is one that did the 18 in the morning, 9 in the afternoon, just a great organizer. But she loaded her sponsorships with tons of stuff. So you want to do it with your committee and say, do we have enough stuff in our sponsorships to make it attractive to people to come? I give my committee members and people's posters to display at the golf course. They put it in local businesses. It's just something that can be handed out and people can see it. And make sure you're driving everybody to your website. You want professional marketing materials. Here's the brochure that we do for an event down in Florida. And you can see it's a beautiful 4-page brochure. It's got all their sponsorship opportunities. It's got everything you need. Details, their highlights, all the sponsorship opportunities, and it drives everybody to the website to register. Make sure you've got an email campaign set up. Communicate your message. Why are we raising money? Focus on the event day fun, format, contest, hole-in-ones, the ability to network. I don't think we stress that enough, that, hey, come out to our event. It's a chance to meet potential clients and solidify your relationship with existing clients. And use the perfect golf event marketing tools. We have the tools that allow you to upload lists, communicate, create emails instantly that can go out to all your prospects. You can upload lists, get emails out there. You can save the emails so you can send them repeatedly with different messages. So get onto an email campaign. Remember, social media is important, obviously, right now. If you're using Perfect Golf Event, if you're using our Birdie, Eagle, or Ace package, we'll provide some of the social media images that size perfectly so you can send them out to your team and say, hey, this one works on Twitter, this one works on Facebook, this one works on Instagram. And they can just upload the images because Twitter, Facebook, Instagram all have different dimensions for the things that you upload. So we'll fix those for you, help it reflect your event, and you can put out social media, then you can give it to your team to send it up as well. And when I say use social media, sign each committee member to watch over each social media channel. Make sure you're doing the posts and watching the posts. And I've had success. I've gone to local community colleges and I've gotten a student that wanted to do an internship to get on their resume for digital marketing because they want a career after school. And I've asked them, hey, will you help us with the golf event to help us market? And usually, obviously, younger people may be much better on social media. So I've had really good success bringing in some students who worked on our social media campaign. And we gave them references when they were looking full-time jobs. They got to put on their resume that they were working at digital marketing manager for a local event, something that they want on their resume that's different than saying, hey, I worked at McDonald's during the summer. Even though we don't pay them, it's experience and it's something, again, for their resume. Create a YouTube channel. I use YouTube channels to post videos promoting the event. I explain why we're raising the funds. I sometimes will post a tour of the golf course. You can feature the event day activities. And I allow sponsors to give me a short video on their business. So now you go to the channel, the Backstoppers channel on YouTube, and it'll show, here's what was the event, here's the video from last year's event. Here's why we're raising money. Hey, what a great golf course. Come on out. We're going to have a hole-in-one contest for a chance to go to the British Open. And then I have a couple sponsor videos that say, I'm supporting this event because I believe in the cause. Come into my restaurant, mention the event, and we'll give you a free appetizer. So use YouTube. Again, you might need a social media expert to help with this, but it's something you shouldn't ignore. As I said, provide email copy to your team, develop sample messages, and especially LinkedIn. Ask people to share their contacts on LinkedIn. That's a very big site for business to business, and those people play golf. Ask sponsors to promote your event. I create posters for my sponsors. Simmons Bank is a sponsor of the Backstoppers. So we give them signs that they can put in their banks to say we're supporting the Backstoppers. And if you want to register and play in the event, there's a link to the website. We ask them to promote it on their social media sites. So as I go through this, remember, we've talked about 20 or 30 different things, and you may not get to all of them, but you can't just do one thing. You got to do things. You got to do lots of different things, pull a lot of levers to get your event where you want it to be. Ask the golf course to promote your event. They have a database. Ask them to put a poster up in the pro shop. Here's a couple other last minute things to fill your event. Again, offer sponsor signers to promote your event. We talked about this. I offer players what's called a preview round, and I work with the golf course on this. Many golfers aren't regular golfers. They may play in 3 or 4 charity golf events during the year. So I offer a preview day. I work with the golf course. And I say, look, let's set up a day a couple months before the event where we're going to invite people who are going to be in our event or considering going to the event, and let's let it give a round of golf. You give them a swing clinic for 30 minutes, help with their swing. Let's include breakfast or lunch. Give them a discount on equipment and golf balls because they need to buy those things, buy them for your event. And there's popular golf courses, and they'll do a revenue share. So you go out to people and say, hey, you're going to be playing our event in June. Come on out in April, and we're going to have a swing clinic at the club. You can see the club, play it for the first time, learn more about it. Bring a friend out who also might join in the event. So these are another creative ideas to fill your event. I talked about this before. This is very important. Get women involved in your golf event. Increase the number of players by attracting women, have separate prizes for women, offer women, say to women, hey, you can bring your own team of women, you can pair them up. Just make women comfortable. You'll increase the number of players in your event, and you'll have lifetime supporters because women support golf and they support charities. So don't ignore women in your golf event marketing. Last couple items. I do VIP foursomes on some of my events where I say, look, I'm offer 4 foursomes. I call them VIP. They get VIP parking, check-in, logoed shirts, and I have somebody in a cart assigned to that foursome with beverages, cigars, snacks, anything they need. You need me to run and get you a Bloody Mary at the bar? I'll get it. I'll be back. And I charge 2 times the cost to play to have it. I only allow 4 of them, so I'm not jamming it up. It sells out for every one of my events because businesses like to bring their clients out, and they'll say, hey, come on out to my event. I bought a VIP foursome. We got a lot of cool stuff. It's a great event anyway, but we're going to have a little more fun with our concierge service. It's just something to raise more money, and you'll sell it out for every one of your events. I market my event now as a business gift, so I go out to my events and say, hey, if you're going to play in the event, don't give your clients a fruit cake for Christmas or as a business gift for the holidays. Tell them that you're going to play in the golf event and invite them. So for this one, saying, hey, we're going to have our 2022 golf event, and I've purchased my group. You're invited to play in my group. And we put packages together for this group where the person gets a special invitation and a shirt to give to the person who they're invited and say, hey, I normally give you stuff for Christmas. Thank you for the business. Why don't you join me for this great event for the backstoppers? It's a lot better than giving them a fruitcake that's going to get thrown away. Make sure you're using technology. Direct everybody to your Perfect Golf Event website. Feature all your event day activities. Encourage online registration to eliminate delays in registration and check-in. Add raffle tickets, mulligans, super tickets. They can all be purchased at the same time when you're using Perfect Golf Event websites. So that really works. We found that events with online registration raise 22% more than people just doing paper registration or call-in registration. The good news is people can pay online. They get a receipt online. It's a safe transaction, meaning that they don't have to have their credit card number floating around. You get the money up front. So make sure your website's up and processing payments. As I said, what's nice is you can offer the ability to register for a foursome or individual golfer, but then they can also add raffle tickets, super ticket, mulligans in their shopping cart at the same time. So it all works perfectly. They pay with their credit card in one transaction. You get a report with all the details, saves a lot of hassle the day of the event. So raising more money, if you want also, we've just launched Perfect Silent Auction, which is an online auction site that you can add to your Perfect Golf Event website. It allows you to raise money, engage with your supporters. It'll increase website traffic, which sponsors like, and you'll generate some more revenue before your event because you can set the items up to sell, to close out in sequence. So you can have one item this week, another item next week that people can bid on and buy. So if you're interested, you can use Perfect Silent Auction. You can upload your own items, your own donated items. We have a whole collection of no-risk items you can use. You can place bids online. You can track the process of everybody in real time so you'll know what's happening. You can set the bid amounts, upload photos and descriptions, create custom categories, have featured items. bidders are notified if they are outbid, and winners can pay online, so you have the money before you have to give them the item. So you can mix together your items that you have donated locally, maybe some things from our consignment library. So this is a good idea. So, and it's easy to set up the auction. It's as easy as doing a website with Perfect Golf Event. And if you're not using Perfect Golf Event website, you can still use Silent Auction. So just go to perfectsilentauction.com. Excuse me. You can have items that you upload, and then you can have some things from our library that you only pay for if if somebody bids and wins the bid. But it gives you more content for your auction. So again, just email support for the catalog. So here's some final action steps. I know we went quickly, but I'd like to cover a lot of things. Is confirm your location and date, identify your committee and committee members, complete your financial projections, finalize your format, set up your website, implement your marketing plan, and then contact Perfect Golf Event if you need to go over your event for ideas on how to raise more money, how your format, sponsorship packages. We're always here to talk. We love to talk to events to help you have a more successful event. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You've got my email address here. You've got my direct line, my mobile. And if you want any handouts or copy this presentation, you can email me, or you can email support@Perfect Golf Event. Again, thank you very much for listening. I hope it was worthwhile. Have a great 2022 event.